Welcome back to class number 4 of the Photoshop for Beginners tutorial. Right, today we're going to be focusing on the quick selection tool. So the last class we did the lasso tools, and the class prior to that was the rectangle and the elliptical and the single column and single row marquee tools. Okay, and today we're going to be focusing on this tool here, which is the quick selection tool. If you right click, it gives you two options: quick selection tool and the magic wand tool. Okay, but today we're going to be focusing on the quick selection tool. If we have enough time, we might touch on the magic wand, but our main focus will be on the quick selection tool. Very powerful tool, and let's get cracking with it. Okay, I've imported this image into my workspace. Excuse me. Say for example I wanted to cut out the sky from the building. Okay, simple process would be left click down, holding the left click down, move your mouse or drag your mouse over a certain part of the image, and what the system will do is it will actually select the sky for you, or the color, should we say. Now the system works on colors. It doesn't know it's a sky or a building or a tree or a whatever, or a sea or water, but it doesn't know this. It just sees colors, contrasts, hue, saturation, and so forth. So in this instance, I selected, I started from this point here, I pressed my left click down on my mouse, held it down, and I dragged my mouse over a certain section of that image, and then it gave me the background. Now why did it give me the whole background? This particular image, there's a background which is blue, and there's a foreground which is white. White being the building, blue being the sky. Okay, so when I clicked on the sky itself, the system realized the user's trying to select the blues. So when I moved my mouse across a section of that blue, it automatically did a job for me, assuming that I wanted to select the blues, and it selected the blues for me. Now that it's given me a selection, if I press Ctrl and J and turn off my background, as you can see, it's giving me an almost perfect sky. Okay, let's label this sky. Now make sure your background is highlighted. Turn off your sky layer, and say for example I wanted to select the building. Same rules would apply again. Hold down your hold down your left mouse key, and then drag your mouse on top of the building, and it should give you a selection. As well as giving you a selection, it also hasn't selected certain points in that building because of the color difference. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. You see these, the darker areas, it hasn't selected some of those darker areas because the building is white, and when I originally hovered over the building, I picked a white point, or the lighter points in that selection, and the darker points it didn't select. The system assumed I only wanted the lighter bits. But anyway, easy solution to rectify this problem would be making sure that you want to add to selection, which is this point here. Make sure it's highlighted, and once you highlight that, if you look at the cursor, there's a plus symbol in the middle of your cursor. Okay, left click down and just hover over it. Hover over the areas that you need to add to your selection, and once you add them, let's have a look, make sure that we haven't missed anything out. Okay, couple of windows here. Okay, that's done. Now if I do Control J now, if you look carefully, if I turn off my background, it's giving me a cutout or a selection of the building that I selected. Okay. I haven't got my background, my original image open. It's actually been turned off. I've only got my two selections that I made. One was a building, one was a sky. When I combine the two images together, it gives me the original image. Okay, so let's label this building. Let's take this one step further. So turn off the building layer and the sky layer, go back, make sure your background is highlighted. Excuse me. Okay, say for example I just wanted this shady side of the building to be, I just want to make a selection of this shady side of the building. So new selection, background is highlighted, and what I will do is I'll drag my mouse across, and if you look carefully, if I zoom in slightly, you see here, now I want to subtract from selection. So once again I got to make sure my subtract from selection is highlighted, use my square bracket keys, left square bracket key to make my brush smaller, and then just slightly push that line in, that selection in to where I need it, and it should go onto that corner or the edge of that building. Now there's a window up here which hasn't been selected. Okay, now I need to actually add this to the selection, so I need to go back into my add to selection, make sure that's highlighted, come back here, left click down, hold it down, and then hover your mouse over it, drag your mouse over it, and it should actually add to selection. Now if I press Ctrl J and turn off my background layer, it should have given me the copy of the shady side of the building. Okay, let's turn this layer off and go back into my original layer, which is the background. Now say for example I wanted to just do this side of the building. Same rules would apply again. Let's increase the size of the brush by pressing the right square bracket. So go up to this sort of size, and that should do it. And then left click down, and then just move the mouse across that building. Have a quick look. Okay, the edges seem to be fine. However, this point here, this window, it hasn't selected. But now I want to add this to my selection, not take away. So I'm in the right key, which is add to selection, which I can see from the plus sign within my cursor. All I need to do is hold down the left click and just hover over them, the not selected bits, and then release once I've made the selection. Once again, have a quick look, make sure your selection is correct. You got your corners, your edges, all the windows have been selected. If you're happy with it, press Ctrl and J, and let's have a look. If you turn off the background layer, there's the side of that building. Okay, so we'll say this shade side, sun side. Okay, now you see the power of this tool. Let me just bring this out. So we can get a better view. Okay, this is just my layer panel, which I've just detached for the time being. Okay, just for the purpose of this tutorial, I'll make it slightly bigger so you guys get a better view of it. Okay, this was the original image that we had. So if I turn this off, and this was the original image. Okay, now from the original image, first and foremost, we cut out the sky. Okay, then we cut out the building itself. But now you can go a step further. We even cut out one side of the building. Then we also cut out the other side of the building. Okay. You see the power of this tool? As you can see, we've made 3-4 different cuts from the same image. Now, as you go further and further into your journey of learning Photoshop, you will realize how powerful this particular tool is. Okay, quick selection tool. Now, just remember to use these keys: subtract, add, and make a new selection. Okay. To change the size of the brush, it's use the slider keys. This slider here. Or you can insert the figures in manually. Say I want it at 100 pixels, and if I move it down, it's at 100 pixels. So if I want it at 250, so if I want it at 500, insert the figure, press enter, and then you'll get it. Your brush size will be automatic to 500. Okay, another way would be, like I said earlier on, the square brackets. To the right side of the letter P, P for Peter. Left square bracket is to make it smaller, and if I hit the right square bracket key, it does the opposite. It increases the size of the brush to 5,000. I think that's the largest it goes, but anyway, that's another way. Square brackets left and right, and by clicking on this, the drop down, using the sliders, or manually inserting in your figure. Okay, and that should give you a very good understanding of how to use your brushes or brush sizes within your quick selection tool. So as you no doubt would have realized, that it's a very powerful tool, and it's a quick tool, so it'll help you within your workflow. Okay, now I will leave the decision to you guys as to, is the quick selection tool better, or the polygonal or the magnetic lasso tools are better? Each individual, each user will have his or her own preference as to which tool they prefer. Okay, I personally prefer the quick selection tool and the magic wand tool. Okay, because it makes my workflow a lot quicker. So until the next time, take care of yourselves, and don't forget, make sure you do your practice runs. Until the next time, take care. Adios amigos.